Hex, Darren, I love racing games. The thrill of the chase, dodging traffic, the climactic crashes. But Driver San Francisco is very different to your average driving game because you spend most of the time in a coma.
Come back to us, buddy.
Charging to 250.
John, don't you do this to me.
Clear.
You are Tanner, a good police officer who has a horrific car accident while chasing the evil criminal Jericho. The accident leaves Tanner in a coma and also with the ability to inhabit the body of almost anyone in town.
Driver San Francisco is a sandbox racer that basically means you can drive anywhere in San Francisco as long as you're on a road. In fact, it's impossible to go off-road because you'll hit an invisible wall. You have the choice of roaming around at your leisure to take in the sights or to complete missions. These are marked around the map and you simply shift onto them to start. Don't spend time trying to run over civilians, they always dash out of your way.
I know, I'm trying.
This is a story-driven racer. By shifting into the city people, you'll go on all sorts of wacky missions, from stunts
Ooh-wee!
to races to chases and even defusing bombs.
Some of my best friends are bomb disposal robots, and I can assure you that's not how it's done.
Well, I agree, but it all plays into the cheesy, arcadey gameplay. The dialogue is a bit silly too, but you end up really liking that.
Okay, we won. Now we retire.
Just enjoy it.
End of racing. Go to college.
Why do I bother?
The driving is pretty arcadey too. You won't be stopped by running into poles or rubbish bins, and you can bounce off the walls as you go.
Yeah, and you'll be doing a lot of that as you get used to the handling. Most of the cars feel a bit sluggish, and that's just the general traffic, but now and then you'll come across much fancier and faster vehicles, and even some buggies.
The trick is to be careful when coming out of a turn in Driver. If you slam down the accelerator, you'll spin out, or turn too far and not make the turn. If you gently press down on the accelerator when coming out of a turn, however, you will be able to line up the corner perfectly. Oh, and heavy use of the handbrake is recommended for most tight turns.
I thought the driving was okay, Darren. I especially liked the missions where you're out on the freeway. They were my favourite because you're dodging through all the traffic and there's oncoming vehicles and they get really stressful. And it reminds me of my favourite racing game of all time, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Oh, I know, so much frantic mayhem.
Back to the game at hand, please.
All right. Well, there is plenty to do in Driver. In addition to the main missions, there's plenty of side missions which you'll need to complete in order to upgrade your ability bar. This is used for ramming opponents and your boost, which you'll definitely need to use in races. As you unlock more story missions, you'll learn the ability to zoom out further from the map, which makes getting around easier.
But just like Fruit Ninja Connect, the most fun to be had with this game is in multiplayer. There's your standard races, as well as Capture the Flag, where you need to take a flag back to your team's base, and many, many more. But our favourite is definitely Tag.
One vehicle is it, and if you hit them, you become it instead, and everyone chases you. The person who stays it the longest wins. Not many driving games include so many online modes, and it's arguably the strongest part of the game. There is also split screen, but sadly our PS3 decided to malfunction when we tested it. Pink lines appeared all over the screen, which are indicative of an internal disruption of the video systems. The pink lines are...
Yes, okay, Darren. But in fairness, that PS3 has lasted a long time, and it's got a lot of use.
The errors were consistent with a fall, Barjo.
Barjo, did you drop the PS3?
No, I didn't drop it, it just stopped working.
He totally dropped it.
I think he pretty much did drop it.
Anyway, if you take this online with friends, you'll have a good time with it. It is very arcadey, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I still felt the world was a bit boxy with all those invisible walls, and the people were a bit weird. So I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I think it's slightly better than that, Barjo, due to there being so much to do in such a big open world. So I'm going to give it 7.5.